It's being posted. Potentially in order. Who knows? I certainly do not. If I'm the DM, who knows?
That guy, Flint Lockwood. That's who Sage reminds me of.
Who? What?
Lockwood.
How do you with a chance of meatballs?
Flint.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
God, okay. Anyways, we're live. Hello, welcome. Who would like to give the recap for inspiration as I go close my window because this car is driving by and they're really loud?
So last time on Dragon Ball Z, we all found ourselves in the midst of combat, still fighting the forces of Wrath. It was looking a little dire during some points, but luckily, Karkalan is an honorable son of a bitch and was nice enough to hand and put on Dravki's shield for him before they started fighting. But more importantly, they recognized Minnie during this fight and turncoat against the fucker. I've forgotten his name, but goddammit, the like general of the camp, the boss, he was able to dim door away. So they'll be back, don't worry, we'll find him again. He'll be even more of a pain. Sage gets one recurring villain.
You say
that
one,
is it.
and yet you've learned that the Scarlet Claw might be coming back too.
Shit, I forgot about that. So hey, yeah, we've also proceeded to go through and talk. We found Jor after the combat. He's fine, luckily. And Karkalan, luckily, had the map of their plans so that we could know what the Goblin Army's plans are. Their plans are primarily to take back land that was apparently taken from them by the humans years and years ago. Was this in library? Notes, here we go. In which there are certain dates and certain plans and certain pathways in which they are going to be taking. We know that on day 16, they're going to be attacking Trellan's Ferry. By day 25, that sort of midway point in between... actually, no, it's not even a midway point. By day 25, they want to be at the fork in the road that leads to the Worm Smoke?
I believe that is Nemon's Gap is the village there.
Nemon's Gap. By day 52, they'll have gotten all the way over to God, what is
the
that
city
place?
of Brindle.
Thank you. I really should have just been like on the actual map too for this, so I could remember map names. But we're getting there in the end, and so on and so forth until the last hold, day 77 of the capital of these lands. This day now constitutes day 0 for all of those keeping track at home and us. But specifically not me.
It's day 1.
Oh, this is day 1. I thought we got one day.
No,
okay.
the Marauder attack was day 0.
Ah. Yeah. All right, this is day 1. Set your death clocks, folks. We have also learned about the plans of... Well, we've learned their general plans in which... Yeah. Storm, March. There's a couple bridges in which we've identified that we could probably trap and or blow up just straight out. Kind of hoping to do both. That will delay them, giving us more time, as well as... Oh, what was it? No, this is now just a new topic. Other than that, we've also learned about Gibbons. The Thistletop Goblins have been conquered. They are no longer in power of their lands in any way, shape, or form, and they've all been captured or slaughtered. we're assuming Gibbons has been captured, and thus, current quest, save Tim's son. The other thing is that we have been told by Karkalon that the mage does potentially have the powers to cast Greater Restoration. I think that's the one. No, wait, True whichever spell it is that lets you resurrect somebody with not but just ashes of their body. Meaning, the Red Hand could come back. I'm gonna kill her with her own hand, Sage. I'll figure it out. Either way. And that's where we left it off. Was after learning of all this dire information and sort of all deciding we should probably go tell the people back at Drellin's Ferry who are a bit more tactfully minded in terms of how we should go about this.
Mm-hmm.
Or was our plan to immediately go seek out Gibbons? I don't fully remember. I know some of us are pretty tired, though, in terms of characters and stats.
I believe that Clink already went to go take a nap. Right at the end.
Yeah, I think I need some spell slots.
So we'll probably just head home with Jor, yeah?
Probably.
Yeah, Jor doesn't live too far from here, does he?
Not too far, no. But
Okay.
you guys are correct. You've earned your inspiration as we return to the heart of Wrath Keep, to the remnants of the battle, and, more importantly, the fat amount of loot that you guys have found as you search the area. You guys have already did the investigation checks from last session when you guys found the hidden trapdoor beneath the rug. The vault, you found a corpse, seemingly the corpse of Lord Wrath himself. He died to a very large gash in his chest from seemingly a spear of immense size. Wasn't all the way puncturing him, but it was enough that it hit a vital organ and he wasn't going to survive that shit. Anyways, there's a lot of loot, so I'm gonna drop it. Throughout the entirety of the keep, other than the areas that you have essentially locked yourselves away from, unless you want to try to sneak away and sneak yourself some loot, because Karkalon keeps his loot, and Lord Sharpest Kitty Grazga also keeps his loot.
I did forget that part of the recap, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
We promised Grazga the keep, and
It's a title.
we even found the title and told him that he could have a special title on top of that. So he is now legally the Lord of this keep and is Lord Sharpest Kitty Grazga.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing of conversation that we got with him is him talking about finding a wife, where we immediately fucking walked away.
All right. Anyways, throughout the keep and everything that you've been able to search, besides the locations that you could not actually loot unless you want to sneaky snake it, you would
had that fucking wand.
you would find a pair of gauntlets. I'm assuming you guys are going to identify them. If I identify them, I'm just going to let you know what they do. A pair of gauntlets of ogre power. While attuned to the gauntlets, your strength score is set to 14 if it is lower than 14. Otherwise, your strength score is increased by 1 up to your ability score cap.
Oh.
You'd also find the sword of Lord of Wrath himself. Let me go and post this as well for you guys. It is a +1 Falcata with the Frost enchantment, allowing it to do additional D10 points of cold damage with every successful hit. And it has the Ice Spray feature. As an action, you can swing this blade in a wide arc, forming a cone of ice out to 30 feet. All within the area suffers 46 points of cold damage. A DC 15 con save reduces this damage by half. For the next minute, the area becomes difficult terrain and slippery, treating the area as an area of grease to any not acclimated to icy terrain. You can use this ability once, regaining this use upon completing a short rest. Sword of Lord Wrath, or simply Sword of Wrath.
Damn.
Additionally, you would find within some of the alcoves of the vault 10 coffers, each locked, DC 25 Thieves' Tools, and bearing the coat of arms of Wrath Keep, a stylized V. 6 of these coffers contain coins. In total, 2,500 silver piece, 2,100 gold, and 120 platinum pieces.
God damn.
Of the remaining 4, 3 contain notes of credit, long since expired. The bank doesn't really exist anymore, that bank specifically. While the last contains the deed to Wrathkeep itself, which is how you're able to give it to Graska. The second alcove is filled with pages upon pages of information relating to Wrathkeep and its history. I can drop lore if you guys so desire.
Ooh, lore.
Yeah.
The third alcove contains only a single large trunk. This trunk was used to store the greatest treasures and trophies of the keep. I'm going to put this one into its own little section. You have within the skull of a young black dragon. 24 forest giant teeth on a thick string. You'd also find a chain shirt made of mithril, or at least some form of mithril. With your identify spell, you would identify the mithril as Edhelden, a specialized form of mithril that has been blessed by lunar magic, often formed by elves. The armor is known as a mithril mist shirt. I'm going to go and pop that in. It is +1 armor. It's considered a chain shirt. In terms of the equipment guide, it's called mail shirt. It has the feature of Silver Mist. As a bonus action, you can conjure a fine silver mist to billow forth from the armor. This gleaming fog grants you the benefits of the blur spell and remains for 1 minute. You do not need to concentrate on this effect. You can use this ability 3 times, regaining any spent uses after completing a long rest. And then Edhelden details what Edhelden does for armor, which is essentially mithril, but different. Does it glow sometimes? One of the fancier items that you found would have been in the grasp of Lord Jarmoth before he died, or Lord Jarmoth Wrath. Jarmoth, Lord Wrath. Anyways, you don't know his first name. Is a staff of life with 7 charges remaining.
Ooh.
That sounds interesting.
It is a magic staff, in terms of like weaponry and whatnot. While wielding the staff, it is not attunement. You can gain the following abilities and features. You can expend some of the staff's charges to cast one of the following spells from it. Any spell DC is equal to 10 plus your proficiency bonus if you are not a spellcaster, otherwise it is your spellcasting save DC. You can cast... Oh, you can also upcast any spell as normal by spending an additional charge per level upcast. You can cast the heal spell by spending 3 charges. You can cast the raise dead spell by spending 2 charges. You can cast the cure wounds spell, cast at 3rd level, using 1 charge. You can cast the lesser restoration spell with 1 charge. The staff has a maximum charge of 10. We're getting 1d6 plus 1 charges each week on Sunday at dawn. If you expend the last charge, roll a d20. On a 1, the staff implodes and deals 1d10 radiant damage to all within 10 feet of the staff.
Oh, it really implodes.
Yes. Alright. You would then find a massive, and I mean massive gauntlet. As in, it is of huge size.
Oh, Jesus. That's very large.
You identify it as the Twist Tusk Fist. It is a gauntlet made from Bloodi's teeth and claws. And despite the fact that it is magical and bears runes of Giantkin, of the Giantkin language, it looks fairly primitive. And it has a symbol of a frowning tusked mouth. It is a spiked gauntlet weapon. It is a +1 weapon that has the smiting property. A wielder of a weapon that possesses this enchantment that uses an ability or spell that grants additional damage dice, such as from Hunter's Mark, Divine Smite, or Hex, deals additional die of damage from that source. And it has Wild. An item with enchantment functions even while the user is polymorphed or wild-shaped. There's the Twist Tusk Fist. Because it is magical, it will resize to fit whatever your hand it is attached to, but when not worn, it will go back to being huge size, because it was made for a huge creature. So shit's big.
Wait, so if the gauntlet itself fills up like a 15-foot cube, then
Not 15 cube.
Oh, okay.
It's designed for a huge creature to wear. So it might be like a 5-foot square.
So, I stick this into some guy's mouth and take it off. They die.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm eyeing the Mithril Mist shirt for myself.
I was
Yeah.
also looking at that one. Honestly, it sounds like it'd be so pretty. But honestly, I think, so.
I think the fist is best for you, Minnie, no?
Oh yeah.
Because it has a Divine Smite synergy.
Them or
Oh,
Clink
yeah.
for the
Yeah.
sneak attacks energy.
And Mithril Mist is very good for dex-based armor, and I have very high dexterity. The highest, some might say.
There's also the sword there. Because don't you use a Falcata occasionally? Or is the...
I do, but I think I've
That's your
stopped
sidearm?
needing it because I got the feat that allows me to shoot within.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
It would go very well with Yorvil's Elementalist theme, but also if someone else wants it for a better reason, they should probably take it.
Oh, actually, I should check to see if I actually have that, or if Marksman does that.
Is calling to Drovki. Like, not even the Ogre. Like, those... Because
I mean, 5+1.
up to a max
Like,
of... yeah, I mean, it'd get me to 19 strength. Whoop-de-doo. I'm also attuned to 3 things already.
Yeah, shit. Do I need to...
No, you're good.
To the sword?
You're
Sword, yeah.
You're good
I want the staff, too,
because-
so that we can have multiple, more healing.
I mean, good
around.
news, you lost that runestone, so you're fine on that
Oh, true.
right? You did lose the runestone. I am still wearing a Cloak of Resistance, which is my most mid thing, but fuck, man. A Cloak of Resistance is pretty good.
Hell of a drug.
Can't scoff at a Cloak of Resistance. Okay, you can, but you're just wrong.
Is anyone opposed to me taking the Mithril Mist chain shirt?
No.
I
Go
say
ahead.
go for it.
And I have the sword and the staff.
Alright, that raises my AC by 2, which is awesome.
I'll take that fist.
This.
Sound like anyone has any issues with taking the sword and the staff. Unless Sky is still muted and not talking when they want to be talking.
Clink does want the healing staff. He is his doctor.
Fair enough. Granted, since it's not attunement, if I ever need to use it, I can just go get it from you.
Mm-hmm.
True. The useful part of a charge staff.
I don't think I'm proficient.
Magic staffs are martial weapons, except unless you have the spellcasting feature, in which case they are proficient. I mean, they are still martial, they just have proficiency if you have spellcasting.
Oh! So Clink can use it.
Yes.
So, digging through my inventory, I
Your
realized
hook
I have a ring of spell storing that I have never used. Would anyone care for it?
Well, I can store some pretty good spells.
I'm thinking that would be a really good thing for him to have.
Yeah, for Yorvil to like extend what he can do the next day.
Store a fireball.
Store a counterspell.
Store a counterspell.
Ooh,
That's probably
counterspell.
that's probably the correct choice, honestly.
I'm not sure if they can do counterspell because I think it's an action to activate. I could double check. Unless,
Yeah.
Stage, do you have custom rules for Ring of Spell Storing or base 5e?
The ring itself should list any rolls it has. A creature that can cast a spell first through 5th level into the ring by touching the ring as the spell is cast. The spell has no effect other than being stored in the ring. If the ring can't hold the spell is expended without effect. Although the slot used to cast the spell determines how much space it uses. While wearing the ring, you can cast any spell stored in it. The spell uses the slot level, spell save DC, attack bonus, spellcasting ability of the original caster, but is otherwise treated as if you cast the spell. The spell cast from the ring is no longer stored in it, freeing up space.
And so wait, there's...
This ring can store spells cast into it, holding them until the attuned wearer uses them. The ring can store up to 5 levels worth of spells at a time.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you have fancier rings, because they can store multiple shit.
Yeah. I will, Hey, Orville, you want this fancy ring?
Sure.
Brian.
I'll just keep a counter spell in the back pocket.
I
What
think
level's
that's a good idea.
counterspell?
Oh, I have to go down.
I will
Third.
give my ring of spell storing to Orville.
You can also slap in a second level in there. Or 2 first levels.
Or 4 half levels.
Wait.
Wait. Four whole cantrips.
What would I put in for the other spell, though?
It says it holds leveled magic, but cantrips aren't leveled, so I'm gonna store Infinite Eldritch Blast. Who wants to be a warlock?
It doesn't store cantrips.
Damn it.
Cantrips are not leveled spells, so.
I'm gonna make... Yeah, I mean, that's what makes this joke work. Is that they're not... I'm going... Okay, current goal. Make better rings. Make the ring that basically says, go do a crime.
Ah, yes, of course. Alright.
It has 9,000 Eldritch Blasts stored into it.
Now that you have garnered equipment from the area, is there anything else you guys would like to do?
I'll put together a sign. Well, I guess this is as we're leaving, but I'll put together a sign at the like entrance to the path to this place that just says Manticore Keep, stay out.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if they go in now, it's their fault.
Aye, that seems fair.
All right. So, you're to travel then.
Yes, I think we're going. Was it back to George's place or back to town?
I think the plan was immediately to go to Jor's place.
So you wish to return back to Jor's.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Yeah.
Very good. Making your way back to the main road. The group of you push on, head southwards. Slow, medium, or fast pace?
Link's on the couch, so he's good.
Medium.
Medium is fine.
All right. 2 hours down the road, you guys finally return to Jor's cabin. Okay, and shuffle your tokens. You guys are all grouped up for this. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Copy.
I'm busted.
guys return to Jor's cabin. Nyla, happy Puppuccino to be back home and away from the, oh god, there's people attacking me. We'll run inside. Jor, having hobbled this way, still having, the broken limb and whatnot, we'll push forward to the porch here. Thank you for getting me out of there. I didn't think I was gonna make it much longer, to be honest. Karkalon at this point would speak up. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, I'll just leave it there.
If Clink is not needed for a while, Clink would like to stay with Jor for a bit.
I think we're just going back to town and resting, so I guess just meet us there in the morning.
Aye.
Clink will see you then.
Trust the will. Stay safe.
Very good, very good. Clink helps old man Jor back into the cabin to rest and recover from his most grievous of injuries. The party
We'll stay with Clink and we'll help him take care of Yor.
Okay. The remaining three members of the party, Gunnar and Karkalon, Karkalon, you're staying too. Karkalon would also stay. He would pitch up a tent outside, though. Because he doesn't feel like he's welcome with Jor fully yet. As Jor's definitely giving him the stink eye. As the three of you and Gunnar make your way to town. Probably should actually mark the time it takes to get back to town. All right. The sun is currently setting as you guys would push your way into Drellin's Ferry on the 19th of October. Yes, 19th of October. So, I don't know where your tokens are. I'm just going to go and find them and pop them to oblivion. Because they should not be here on the map anymore. Here we are. Push your way into town. Where would you like to go?
We'll probably need to speak with the guards to inform them of the upcoming attack.
To the garrison?
Yeah. We're going to
To
the
the
war
garrison.
room.
Alright.
Yeah.
Making your way through town across the ferry. This is your second crossing for the day, so that is another set of money for you. Just release 3 silver piece.
How many of us are there?
3 silver piece per player, so it's 9 total.
9 total. I can cover it.
Cool. So you make your way back to the garrison, to the captain's office.
Knock, 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 knock.
Enter.
Hi, hello.
You're back. What have you found?
Well, Jorva will produce the battle map. Bad news.
Great. Well, she'll lay out the map, putting some stones in each corner so it can be properly splayed out.
I have some good news.
What's that?
Well, we found the map, so that's good news.
Fair enough.
Also, good news. I know exactly where and when I need to be to blow a lot of them up at once while they march on our town.
Look at that. Map is physically on the map now.
Oh my god.
It's the map. It's the map. It's the map. I'm not gonna get us copywritten.
Quite frankly, if they don't find out that we have this map ever and they stick to this plan, I think that we could set up. Well, we'd need to reach out and find extra resources to do it. We could set up some multi-stage ambushes to stop this plan in its tracks.
Well, how large of a force are we speaking? We're barely holding enough militia to hold the town at this point.
Right.
Not sure we can spare many soldiers to begin with.
Oh, where'd Karkalon go? I can go grab him. He could probably tell
Karkalon.
more.
Garkland stayed with Minnie. Back at Jor's cabin.
Shit. That's what I
Well-
get for daydreaming.
Us and our allies could probably handle one ambush on our own. I think we have recently acquired some pull in what's the name of the city that we were just in with Foxglove.
Witchcross.
Witchcross. We've recently gotten some pull in Witchcross. I think we may be able to leverage that into some aid.
That does boost our numbers somewhat. They're not a large settlement to my knowledge, though.
Larger than us.
You guys are actually larger than them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yorval would know that.
You guys actually are one of the bigger towns in the area. Not the biggest, but one of the bigger. Witchcross is actually, I believe, a village in comparison.
Really?
You guys are a town. Yeah.
I had this backwards.
Mm-hmm.
They just have a
Well-
really big house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you look
Could you
at,
point
like,
out-
the city itself, it's pretty big. And there's a lot of outlying farmsteads, too. Witchcross, if you look at it, I mean, in comparison, it's kind of pretty small.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyways,
We have land there.
it's true. Well, whatever additional soldiers they can muster, it's going to be welcome. From the looks of it, we are the first line of defense here. But there is other issues, as you will note upon the map. They're not just going to be marching towards our particular homestead. At least not along that route there. From the looks of it, they're marching from the north as well, and from the south. Potentially even from the east along the giant shields. Judging from the numbers alone, though, it looks like the large force, the majority of the army, lies within the Weirm Smokes. Somewhere around here. If we can get numbers, potentially we could muster a force and try to fight them within the forest, ambush, delay them, and, well, perhaps destroy a majority of the forces before they can even wreak any havoc, but if they're gonna be here, 14 days now, since the day is nearly over, I'm not sure if soldiers can be mustered and brought to Drellin's Ferry so quickly.
It's what? A day, 2 days travel?
Well, by horseback from lone riders, it can be quite quickly to get to Witchcross or Denevar, no problem, but we're speaking about mustering troops and marching along the road. Troops travel at a much slower pace than individuals.
Well, I better write a letter quickly then.
Overall, though, we've already asked for aid from Brindle. What troops they could spare are already here. At this point, if we're looking for aid, we might need to speak with the lords themselves. We've already tried ourselves, the sheriff and I, and, well, I didn't know the full extent of this, but I'm not sure how much more we can get. Denevar has always been about themselves for the most part. The merchant lords, they're conniving, to say the least. So, as an out-of-character thing for you guys, if you're wanting to seek aid from other cities, the NPCs have already tried. They can potentially get more troops based upon the new information that has been provided. It will not be anywhere near what you guys are wanting. If you guys are wanting actual armies to join your side, you will need to go yourselves and requisition aid. And that'll be very heavy on the political and diplomatic side of things. And it's also not guaranteed to succeed, because you already know that they've, supposedly, at least from Brindle's point of view, spared all that they could already.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get pretty creative. I think it's pretty infeasible to get the numbers. We need to fight these people head on, so we're gonna have to, do things like blow up the bridges. Maybe I could convince some birds to drop little bombs here and there, stuff like that. I think that's really our, I think we really got to get crafty and, what's the term for it? The big monkeys.
Guerrilla tactics.
Guerrilla tactics.
We're gonna have to get really the big monkeys.
There is another portion of this of note. From the looks of it, they do have some forces, a Sarvith of some sort. I'm not sure what that is, but within the fens up there. My knowledge, the elves, the wild elves live within the fens. They have been hermits of sorts, but they do have a sizable force. Potential they could be allies if one could convince them. If any of you have any ties with them, that would certainly go a long way. Also might be some barbarian tribes within the giant shields, and of course there's the dwarfs, as I'm sure you two are aware of, as she looks to Yorville and Dravki.
Yes, perfectly aware.
I was really hoping not to have to, but I guess we can plan a trip home.
Overall, though, from the looks of it, as she is studying the map, due to the close proximity of the bridge and their troops, and how close they will be arriving to Drellin's Ferry, the key locations should be hit before anything else. Whether it is us gathering a force to send outwards, or, well, a strike force, so to speak. She looks at you knowingly, thinking that she is referring to you guys. If a strike force or a troop of units can make their way to Skullgorge Bridge and the bridge to the west, it is potential that we can delay them a sizable amount of time. At least a couple of weeks. Just judging from these backwaters and, well, they would have to build a bridge to even get across, as she indicates the large lake here and the river that flows through it. Either that or fairy creatures through flight, which... You've mentioned a dragon earlier. I hope it's... I imagine
I doubt that the
it's...
dragon would stoop to that.
Yes, well...
As well as considering most of the dragons, or the dragon we have seen was a white one. In the vague understanding that I have, chromatic dragons are quite a fan of Tiamat, in which this whole horde is bannering under.
So certainly on their side, then.
Certainly on their side. Aye.
Well then. I think the best we can do is at this point begin evacuation of those unable to defend this city. Just in case. Have them head out eastwards towards Brindle, where there's walls that can probably defend the city and its people. But for us here, prepare the defenses, build as many palisades as we can in the meantime. Perhaps get some allies. If we can save Drellin's Ferry, well, that would be the preferred option, but cannot say for sure until we know their numbers. What we have here already is... well, we have 5 units of soldiers. Essentially, you guys have about 50 troops.
Oh boy.
And not to mention most of them are simple militiamen. Most of them being farmers who signed on to help the town and the like. We do have some of the Lions Guard at least, sent from Brindle. Those are professionals. Those will, well, they'll serve us well. You guys have 4 units of militia and 1 unit of the Lions Guard of Brindle. The Lions Guard of Brindle are veterans of warfare, so they actually have pretty good skills and pretty good stats. The militia are 1-2 mooks turned into a unit of troops.
Cool.
Can the militia be trained at all in the time that we have? Is
Well,
that going to make a difference?
We have 2 weeks, seemingly, till they arrive. That will certainly help.
Don't know if the Lions Guard would be up to that. I would be up to it, but I have a feeling that we need to go and be envoys to whether that be the Dwarven Holes or the Elves.
Well, there are certainly many places that need to be dealt with and little time to deal with it. The Lions Guard, I'm sure, will fall in line and train what they can. Oh, that
How
really
are
comes.
we planning on blowing up this bridge anyhow? Or bridges?
Well, fortunately, we do have some alchemists in town who can work us up some charges that can produce a explosive force strong enough to destroy the stonework's support beams to break the bridge itself. A team can be sent to the west, a team can be sent to Skullgorge. Really, it just depends on... back to out-of-character discussion. The success of each individual task will obviously be greatly impacted by who goes. If you're sending troops there, you're sending essentially a squad of militia or a Lions Guard, depending on who you want to send, because you only have those 5 units. Those 4 militia and 1 Lions Guard. You can potentially get more in the 14 days you have until they actually arrive at Drellin's Ferry, but they might be past Skullgorge Bridge at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be time where you guys can actually be like, go to Brindle, get some more troops to join you, and maybe you'll have more people to actually work with to do all these assignments. Right now, however, you just have 5. And 4 of them are the lowest of the low, which means their chance of success is limited. It's not 0, but it's limited. If, for example, you guys were wanting to go and send a troop of, let's say you're going to send the big bada booms to Skullgorge Bridge, because that's obviously the main point of their attacking force is going to be Skullgorge. They'd have From what you guys know currently, decent chance of success. Not guaranteed, not great, but coin flip. If you were to send yourselves there, obviously you know your own skill set. You do not know what you're going to be meeting there, but as players, you generally will have a greater chance of success than any NPCs that you send. Because it's not just a D100 roll, it is whatever you guys do, and anything that you might do that's crafty. As for the western bridge over here, it's actually easier to achieve success on. Just because it's not a main... Their main force is not actually heading there, it's not actually ensuring its safety. Just judging from the map and all the tactics you've learned about. You can also send some envoys to various kingdoms. You can send troops to the Dwarven lands. You can send people up to the elves. You can send people to the barbarians of the giant shields. All those ones will be better suited for players to do. Just simply because troops are not really designed as envoys, and you don't have any NPCs currently that you're aware of who are envoy specific. Potentially, you could send your wife, as she's pretty good at diplomacy, or intimidation more specifically, but that's up to you. Who you want to send, or if you want to do it now, do it later. You guys do have a timeline, so you know that currently you have 14 days for Drown's Ferry, and at that point, it gets pretty quick along the road when they start marching down it. Skull Gorge Bridge will buy you a decent chunk of time, so if you want to focus that one, it will certainly buy you enough time to potentially do other things. Whether you do that with NPCs, as you guys just fuck off and do like the dwarves, or the elves, or the other thing, or maybe go and figure out what the fuck's Ghost Lord about. Because it just says Ghost Lord. That's all your map says.
Does just say Ghost Lord.
Yeah.
That's
Our first order of business should be going to Skull Gorge Bridge and blowing it up, and then handling diplomacy for other stuff while they're trying to figure out a way around.
It'd be interesting if we could passively buff up the Lion's Guard so that we could be in the two places at once, sort of thing. Go fuck off to where we really want to be while they blow it up. I don't know how we would passively buff.
Yeah. Additionally, keep in mind every troop that you leave or you use to leave Drown's Ferry is less defense for Drown's Ferry.
Yes, if something happens before they get back.
Yes.
So my thought, they said we have an alchemist in town.
You have a couple, yeah.
Who could produce explosives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, honey.
And Yorvel's all about that shit.
I will also add this. Based upon the grave circumstances, the god will be requisitioning any materials used in, this invasion. So if you are needing explosives, the god will pay for it.
Excellent. That's my favorite thing I think you've ever said. So I think next method should be of timing. Of course, we could get started immediately if we just went and blew up the bridge tomorrow. But I think it may be more effective at a different time. However, if we wanted to, say, take the bridge out from under them as they march, that of course risks conflict with their main marching line, which is no good.
But it has the advantage of probably killing a good few of them as they fall into the rubble in the river.
And it also prevents them from finding out about a broken bridge and thus being able to plan for it.
Let's see here. Does the map tell you about timelines? No. Okay, so you don't actually know when they will reach Skull Gorge Bridge for the main horde. You just know that when they will reach Drown's Ferry. Okay. Good to know.
Can never just be easy, can it?
No.
And Skull Gorge is... This is Skull Gorge?
A Skull Gorge Bridge is right there.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Wrathkeep is here with Cough Space. And then Drellin's Ferry is the X at day 16. And then Cinder Hill is like slightly above Skull Gorge. It's about a day's ride from Skull Gorge.
Well, could I make a tactics check to figure out how, perhaps what day they would be at Skull Gorge Bridge?
Sure.
I would like to actually do. Can I help this?
Are you proficient in tactics?
That's what I'm double checking.
If you are,
I don't
then you
remember
provide
if I am.
advantage. You could help if you are.
Okay.
That feeling when Sky, Clink, the one with the really high tactics, is not here for this.
It makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, I kind of
Nope.
thought we were going back to rest. I'm over here, like, sitting there, like, oh, I could be here. I
Mhm.
could do something.
Yep.
I knew this was probably gonna happen, but Clink
Well,
was
I
here
thought
with
we
Thor
were going
anyway.
back to rest, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll go. I was like, if we're going back to rest, then I'll help take care of the sick, and we'll.
Mhm.
That is the end goal.
I
Yeah,
rolled a
I am.
1.
I am. So good news.
no.
Roll that.
You have
shit
advantage.
again. You have advantage.
I rolled a 9.
Good
Well-
fucking. Wait,
Um,
hold on. Because here's a flat roll. Should I have been the one rolling this?
Probably.
No.
Wait, you also...
Is it not based off intelligence?
It's wisdom.
Oh,
It's wisdom. Yeah.
But I mean,
wait,
you have a
hold
plus
on.
1, because your wisdom's a 13. And you're proficient, right? So you have a 13?
My wisdom is plus 1. Yeah, because my wisdom is that. So you're right. I do have.
you should have a
It
plus
is-
4. So you
Yeah,
should be the
oh,
yeah,
one
you
who
guys
that's-
are level 6, yeah, so
I
it'd be
sh-
plus 3.
I should have been making these.
Yes!
Hey, Sage.
Oh. Can we reverse?
I will allow you
Pretty
one more
please.
roll with Dravki's dice.
Thank you.
Yay. Note to self: you're the smart one, but I studied maps apparently.
I mean, look, Yorville's the war mage, but you're the tactician.
Fucking apparently, which
Yorville
is
just
really
says,
silly.
giant boom, go boom. They siege.
Damn right, brother. High five.
I mean, at least judging from
That-
the tactics skill, that's what they about.
That got us really far through college.
It really did.
All right, now I like what you're thinking, but hear me out.
All right. With a 20 in your tactics, looking over the maps, looking at the supposed point for their main setup, so the Rimsmoke entrance right over here, you already know that Cinder Hill is a day's march from Skull Gorge Bridge. It'll take them a day for any army of relative similarity to march from Cinder Hill to Skull Gorge.
Oh, I just realized when I got to 6th level, I forgot to choose an additional favored terrain.
That's an important step. Yeah.
I have forest, and what else is really common around here?
Well, you
Swamps?
have mountains, you have swamps, you have desert, and you have plains.
I feel like we are going to be doing a lot in the. I mean,
So,
ooh, yeah, it does depend on where we're
locations that
going
you guys
next.
might be going would be mountains for the dwarfs, which also could be underground, which is another big one. You have swamps, because that's where the elves are. You already have forest, which is the main part that you guys have been doing.
Yeah.
Mountains, which, again, would be more of like if you guys do push back at the hobgoblins and push them into their actual territory. And then you have the desert if you guys go and deal with whatever the fuck the ghost sword might be.
Which is funny.
Yeah, and
Ghost
for the
Lord.
barbarians, that is mountains or forest. So, mountains again, essentially.
I'll do mountains. Fuck it.
All right, the mountains and forest Good stuff. Yeah, a lot of the war side of things will probably be in the plains because all the cities are pushing through the plains. Also urban because cities are urban. But along the roads, it's plains. With a 20 on your tactics check, addition to the knowledge that, this is about a day's march from it, the march from the mountains to Cinder Hill is about a 5-7 day march, depending on various circumstances. So, depending on when they've left, the main force could be there in maybe day 4 or day 8, or maybe even day 10 if they haven't even left yet.
So, if we want to be conservative, they can be here on day 4, average day 8. If they've not even left, and that's where he's turning off to, day 10.
And that's for them reaching Skullgorge Bridge.
Yes, that's for
You guys are currently on day 1, about to be day 2.
Aye. That
Oh,
said,
brother, do you feel like a camping trip?
Always. It's always good to be out of the house all the time. We could also rediscuss with Karkalon. I realize I've not explained who that is.
You have not.
So, the rat bastard who is holding up in, Koth. His name's right there. Koth. He escaped during our fight. Sadly, we could not get him down before he just teleported away. But his bodyguard / lieutenant / champion, Karkalon, actually defected to our side. Hence how we even have this map. His reasons are widely his own, but they are, I believe, good, for they align with our good friend Minnie.
It is at this point, Yordville, your keen mind feature would trigger. As neither of you have actually mentioned this, I'm reminding you as the DM because you actually have this feature. Karkalon did mention that every settlement, or at least every major one, is likely to have spies working for the Red Hand, including Drellin's Ferry.
Oh shit.
He did mention, I believe, specifically that Drellin's Ferry had 2. Although he considered one of them to be the Scarlet Claw.
Dead, yeah.
I'm going to psychically tell Dravgi, or remind him of the fact about the spies. However, I will also tell him to not let that slip yet, because we don't know.
It wouldn't be Sarana, though.
Right, but what if it is?
I don't like thinking about that, brother.
She's gonna look at the two of you. What's that look about? What's wrong?
Sorry.
Various things.
It's been a long day.
This is notably a lot for anybody. Sure, we've been doing this for a while, but this is... first time either of us have been to war in full.
True. We are certainly asking a lot of you.
Neither of us relished the thought of going home either.
No. Preferably, this day would not have ever come. But, in the name of the town...
If we're evacuating anyways.
So we'll go stop by home, see if they're willing to send a few extra troops.
I
wouldn't hold your
Our
breath.
cousin's probably gotten over that, right?
I don't know. We dwarves are stereotypically good at holding a grudge, but
Come on, we're family, right?
we are the black sheep.
Yeah.
Your mic cut off at the perfect time. Instead of saying black sheep, I heard black shit.
Well, either way, your family will probably be safer there.
Well, I don't believe we'll be staying there, considering on this map it says encircle the dwarves, bury them.
They're already underground. How could you bury them?
You drop the mountain. I don't know how you drop the mountain, but you drop the mountain. Considering they have dragons, considering what they can do. Oh! That's a fun bit. They might be resurrecting the Scarlet Claw if our joyous days
Great.
gotten worse. Aye.
You're really just bringing nothing but shitty news. Besides the
aye.
map.
Aye.
Well.
That does, though, lead us to have an extra piece of worry that their leader, does look as though their leader has the ability to resurrect somebody that was burnt to ash, in which we did to her. So, I guess bear that in mind too, if this is to be believed.
I might need to speak with the council then. If they can bring back those who have not only died but have been disintegrated, well. We will need a lot of help.
One thought I did have in terms of this being, consider this a final stand. All of our armies alone are not enough. Hell, I don't fully know if all of our armies together are enough, but all of our armies held in the capital city just might.
You suggest we fall back all the towns then? To Denevar?
I don't like the sound of it. I don't like just giving them all of that free land. But I do like our odds more in that siege than any of our smaller militias and armies.
What I'm hearing, certainly dire circumstances. Their numbers to that level.
We have been told, yes.
We'll definitely need to get the council involved on this then. And they're the ones who have final say, unfortunately.
Going back into the telepathy with Yorville. Alright, how do you want to go about rooting out the spies?
I was just going to turn on sense emotions and then start talking about Defector.
Oh.
I can't do that today, but I can do it tomorrow.
Oh, aye. Okay. No, that's actually a really good idea. No, alright, yep, nope, fair. We won't bring it up yet. Well, so we'll reconvene here perhaps tomorrow morning with the rest of our party. Clink, Penny, and Coquelin stayed with Jor, mainly to the rest, and to, I assume, spend time with loved ones, considering Jor was captured and all. So.
I'm glad you were able to free him at least.
Oh, aye.
Any word of Shalelu?
No, none. We didn't overly have time in terms of searching them out. It was hard enough even getting to Path Keep from Jor's cabin. We ran into a Hydra, killed that, got to the keep, dealt with it.
Hydra?
There was a Hydra.
Right, that feels like so long ago.
Aye, that feels like at least 2 days. But no, that was this afternoon.
Right. Well.
Oh, Vrath Keep is also owned by Lord Sharpest Kitty Grazga.
Blink.
He did not say that with a straight face. There's a shit-eating grin on his face. There was a manticore.
A manticore is the legal owner of Wrathkeep now.
Is now the legal owner of the. Hey, they're willing to assist us now that they are legally ownership. We told them that we do want to maybe put up defenses there. It's a defensible position that they will have to go through. He's willing to assist because that's now his home. We have a password for whoever we send, as well as just telling them it's from us. Sort of a two-part system.
I see. Well, we could try to station some troops there, but last we gathered, Wrathkeep's walls were breached heavily. It's not exactly a fortified location in that regard anymore.
It's a bit of a ruin, but it certainly works as almost a jungle gym.
It'll take time to repair for it to be any form of defense against a horde of their supposed size.
Fair.
But,
we'll see. But, just, it's still cleared. He has legal right now. I guess.
Right. Well.
We sort of didn't see that as an issue, but it's...
Speaking of allies, how fares the Thistletop goblins? They still with us?
They may, the leader has been kidnapped, and we think the rest are either, imprisoned or dead. We know that their leader is being, held near Skull Gorge Bridge. We intend to, rescue them when we head there.
Right. Well, from what I gathered, Shalelu was searching around that area last. Perhaps she's with them, or perhaps she's watching out over Thistletop.
Perhaps this is a two birds, one stone situation.
Either which way, if we can free these allies of ours, will certainly help us in our defense. Out of character, you guys have gained the quest. Obviously, you already had the quest, destroy Skullgorge Bridge, or sabotage, or whatever you want to call it. But you have gained the quest line of find Shalelu, rescue the Thistletop Goblins. You already had the one for rescue Gibbons. And of course, you guys have the quests of speak with the dwarf, speak with the elf, speak with the barbarians, investigate Ghost Lord? Question mark.
I'm really curious about this Ghost Lord.
Well, you guys already have some knowledge about them. I believe you already made rolls previously, and it's been a bit, like 12 sessions, so it's been a while.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
You know the Ghost Lord to have once been a druid that has since taken with death. Many of the Thorn Waste is haunted by spectral spirits, seemingly the minions of the Ghost Lord, hence his name. Or the Ghost Lord.
Lord of the Ghost.
So, you know that he's a druid of some form. Whether he's corrupted or simply just embodies the nature aspect of death, you're not quite sure. But, that is his domain.
He is sane.
Exactly. That is his domain. So, potential ally, potential enemy, potential unknown. But it does have his name listed on their map, so.
Yeah. Whether it's a good thing or not, great question.
Yeah. But you have many quest lines activated now, and paths to go for, and time is of the essence. Speaking of time, regardless of which path you take, though, the town will certainly provide you all with horses to speed whatever path you take. Essentially going to be doubling your speed because they're giving you horses.
Yeah.
Because time is very important in this mission going forward, as you probably have gathered.
Alright. We'll reconvene here tomorrow morning. We'll be able to give you a bit more info, we believe. Along with those who know more, and talk along.
Very well. I'll be sure to gather the counselors for this meeting as well.
Aye.
Right.
Well,
And she'll give you a nod.
dressed well. Do your best at the least. Apologies for not being able to bring back more good news, but map. We have a map.
Information will hopefully give us the edge that we need. Thank you.
Alright.
Alright. So, anything you guys want to do in town? Or do you want to just hand wave particular things? Like anything that you guys just want to shoot some boots? That's fair.
I'm going home to my wife.
Yeah,
It's been a hard day.
it has. Yeah.
My brother almost died. Let's also not forget that one.
It's true.
Again, Hydra.
Yep.
Kinda glossed over the Hydra. Let's go home. I don't know what everyone else is doing. I'm going home.
Strangely, guys, enough. Oh, no. It's not quite dinner. So she would actually be in the office.
Norval's gonna go see about commissioning some very high-grade explosives.
Excellent.
Might also talk to my wife about, honey, you have bombs lying around.
All right. Well, commissioning some high-grade explosives. It's easy enough. Just let me know what kind of explosives you're wanting. If you're just wanting something that you think could destroy that bridge, being an engineer, I believe you actually have that skill. Won't be too difficult to do. Do you actually have engineering tool proficiency?
It's something I've been working on.
Oh no.
Clink.
Well,
I spent some downtime on engineering stuff.
yeah. Whether it's you or Clink, I'm sure someone in the party can get an appropriate amount of explosive ordnance to be able to destroy the bridge.
I'm gonna ask my wife about, like, the possibility of, like, hey, can you make a bomb that goes off with, like, enough vibrations specifically?
Well, let me go look at my class. 1 second.
If I can use wisdom for engineering to look at it and like find out where the weak points are, I would have a +7.
Jesus Christ.
Let's see here.
Clink is engineer. Master surgeon, engineer, architect.
Master Surgeon, Engineer, Architect. God, they're too good! We can't let them keep getting away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Link may have all these skills, but he is still just Whittle. Look, he fits in the pouch.
He's just a little guy with mass ordnance, but he's just a little guy.
You can't be mad at that face.
What's a little bit of mass ordnance, anyways?
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm sure he will only do things like healthcare with those explosives.
Advanced.
Yeah, that's what you use them for.
Percussive maintenance. No, not again. Not the percussive maintenance.
Well, theoretically it's possible. I haven't perfected that particular function at this point in time, but theoretically. Why?
That was the most threatening. That was the most threatening change of tone. Oh god.
She has intimidation proficiency. What do you want from me?
Hold on, I'm hitting you with saving throw wisdom.
Oh
Dropkey's face like immediately falls. It's just like, well,
I've been gone for less than a day.
we have.
Why do you need explosives?
Um. mm, mm, all right. Is going to take her by the hand out of the office, go upstairs to it's getting to private place, like private place, just like getting into their room, and it is just like
There you go.
okay, best. It's like okay, best to be hush hush about most of these things, considering everything that could be going on.
All right.
It won't be long, give or take 2 weeks, that the town will be under siege.
What?
Yes.
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 Under siege.
Yes.
Under siege. There is an army of goblins and hobgoblins under a banner of a Scarlet Claw, who maybe have dragons.
Dragons.
That yes, that might.
And dungeons.
That there could be dungeons as well. I think we could make a game out of this. It'd probably suck though. It's fine. Um, horrible management. So and they are very intent on taking back air quotes of their land. He's saying this, and his face is that face where you sort of like suck your like lips into your mouth, and you're just sort of like, yeah.
So what you're telling me is, we had some bandit problems. A day later, the bandits became an army, and they're going to besiege our town. And they have dragons, and they were working with the Scarlet Claw.
Aye.
Is there anything else? Do I get that straight?
Taking it in stride.
Drovgi looks like he wants to leave it there, but just sighs and goes, sometimes I regret my promise to never tell you a lie, but also it's for the best, honestly. Oh, there is so much more. We have plans of how to do with it. Namely, the explosives talked about, blowing up a bridge or two will slow them down, give us more time.
She finds out that you guys are talking about going home.
You're being real... I don't know, it's supposed to make sense, but...
And hence, I was sort of like, oh, you know, Mari might have fun using some of her old tricks, sort of, you know, I don't know. It's Mari's world and we're just living in it. We have been allowed the sanctity of breath. There's also... We'll be looking into getting allies. Some elves, some giants. Yorville and I might be taking a trip back home.
Blink.
Maybe they'll help. We're not holding our breath, considering we're the ones who are going to go ask. But, maybe?
This is... How is the city faring in all this?
Nobody knows. Keep it that way, please.
Blink.
This is not yet a thing that has been kept known. We'll be discussing in finer details tomorrow. Most folks don't know about this quite yet, which is probably also good because...
Is this why you were suggesting us moving? Or is that just happenstance that you gotta keep right before an invading force happened upon our doorstep?
Well, ever since a dragon appeared out of a fiery pit and flew out of an underground keep in the forest, yelling, Drellin's ferry will burn. That has been a driving force in my mind to keep my family safe and
That
maybe
is
away
fair.
from the place that it wants to burn.
So, which cross is safe then?
Probably not. No,
Blink, blink.
their invasion plan goes all the way over to capital.
What is the plan then? Obviously,
Don't worry.
explosives are. Do you think we can fight them?
Not head on. No. Drellin's ferry has
Are we-
our little adventuring party.
Oh.
4 groups of militia, and that's giving them more credit than they deserve, but I have faith in them. And a squadron of Lions Guard. We've got a good river that lacks a bridge, luckily, but by and large, I believe our plan is going to be widely to stall them to give people more time to retreat back to further towns.
So we're to flee this town then.
If push comes to shove, my idea was to gather everybody's armies and militias-enabled bodies in the capital as a larger stronghold and force. Plus, whoever else we can recruit along. There might be a Ghost Lord, that could be fun.
The Ghost Lord.
He just shrugs. It was marked on their map. Might be helpful to us, might be
They're
helpful to
marked
them.
on
Work
the
that.
map.
Aye.
Is it like a question mark? Is it like an ally thing? Is it...
It's just sort of Ghost Lord then pointing into the desert.
Great.
We're probably
great.
going to look into that. At the very least, I guarantee you, Clink is going to see something that says Ghost Lord, and is going to be curious. Okay, I'm scared. I physically can't move towards you. I have the feared condition.
You're trying to blame Clink?
Yeah, he absolutely is. Are you kidding?
I swear!
Are you kidding? Absolutely, he wants to go see the Ghost Lord. He's not gonna say that flat out.
If the Ghost Lord is involved, you let me know. I'll not have you go traipsing off to the Ghost Lord empty-handed.
Okay, wait, hold on. Wait, why? Do you know the Ghost Lord?
I've heard
Stop me.
stories.
Drovki does the, fingers pointing at each other thing. What are those stories?
Well, supposedly, they are one of the Circle of Eth, the keeper of the desert there in the Thorn Wastes. But something happened during the wars with the Dragon Empire, and, well, to save their land, they had to destroy it. And that twisted their mind. Now,
But they-
like the land, they are dead. Creatures that they once protected are dead like themselves. Not many merchants, travelers alike can make their way through the wastes without a haunting or two, or simply being killed by the beasts of the wild. So, if you're going there, let me know.
It's not entirely out of the question, especially now hearing that they were against the dragons, right?
He was,
These
yes.
stories?
Okay. So a possible ally?
Potentially, but his mind has gone. So I don't really know. It's an unknown source to me, and he's... Well, the stories say he has an army of undead, so...
High risk, high reward.
That was not what I was going to say!
Meathead mode engage.
I was going to say you might get cursed if you go there.
I would rather be cursed
Blink.
than leave my family defenseless.
If you think it is a path that should be taken, then I trust you. But you're damn well going to take some items first.
What kind of items?
Scrolls remove curse, a potion of revivify, I don't know, some ghost touch runes, something that I might have found when I was getting ready for in case you went there.
You were preparing for me to go.
Listen, you started adventuring like not that long ago, and I figured it might happen at some point.
He does that one meme where he
That's what I was overthinking.
where he like sticks up a finger about to say something, puts it down. Hey, fair enough.
Look, it hasn't even been a month yet, and you've already found a dragon, and, well, are now dealing with an army.
I would much rather go back to just being a guard in the city where the most I dealt with was a drunk or two. Maybe some bandits. Those were fun.
That'd be nice.
That I would like to go back to just dealing with petty crime and bandits and, again, the occasional drunk.
Well,
Is this more exciting? Oh, sure. I've figured out ways to do things and push what physical capabilities I have greatly in this past month, more than I have in the last 50 years. Shout out to D&D being fucking crazy, how you can be like a wizard studying for decades, but hey, that dude who just kind of went on a little trip for a month is now an archmage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Well,
Also, definitely don't go around talking about this. There might be a spy. We don't know. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's that this is why I came up here. It's a little more out of the way. Instead of just talking downstairs.
well. And we can push this army off of our doorstep. It would be you. And Yorville.
Oh, Yorville
Probably
is
Clink,
very,
too. Clink's a little crazy.
Yorville is very excited to get to blow things up.
I'm a little worried about Tim, though. He's such a nice fella.
Tim
Sure
is
you
a
can
nice
handle this?
fella. I have seen Tim take a Goblin Bane arrow and just eviscerate a cleric.
Blink, blink.
That man just goes from being the most chill, friendliest guy to one of the scariest people I know as soon as you are his friends. He's great. I love him.
Blink, 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 blink. Alright.
Penny might also get reconnected with her parents. That could be interesting.
What?
Yeah,
A lot has happened in a single day.
a lot has
We're
happened.
dealing
I can run through the whole thing for you. There's a Hydra involved too. It's dead.
Alright, at this point, you're going full on just spilling your guts out to her as we zoom out of that conversation.
There's a Hydra. It's not alive. Gets fucking grabbed. Just fucking. She just materializes 2 slices of bread and puts it against his head. What is he? Lovable.
Anyways. She can make you up a bomb She cannot guarantee it will be triggered based upon vibrations. That's definitely above her pay grade. But she can make you up a bomb that would be delayed.
You could make like a knitting circle, but of alchemists making bombs. So, something to trigger it when enough. Because, if you're marching over a bridge, that'll do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The one issue is if you just put it down there and fuck off, is if they have people who can find traps and disarm it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Gotta hate it here.
Which is something she would bring up during your conversation.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So, it's up to you guys.
Nah,
Which path you want to go. She can
Joke's
try
on
to make you one, though.
The whole reason why I have a high tactics is my wife.
I mean, she is a bad bitch. As Clink put it. Anyways. While that's all going on, is there anything you want to do with Jor, Clink?
Clink is just doing professional nursing care on Jor.
Excellent. In terms of the explosives, we can go into the details in a bit for that, since you're still AFK, and you guys might just requisition it from Madi. But anything else you guys want to do for this particular day?
Nah.
I don't think so.
All right.
Like, I think we're...
And you guys all achieve a long rest.
Woo!
It is now the second day of the Rise of the Red Hand arc. Or really, the Red Hand of Doom arc. The campaign is the Rise of the Red Hand.
Mason's gonna come back to just the chat saying meathead mode on.
They are. It's really great.
Meathead mode engage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, speaking of which, I did give you guys your experience on my listing. You're at 179 out of 230 to level up.
Woo! Closer and closer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But all that said, a new day has dawned as our companions from Jor's cabin make their way back to join them. Copy. Oh, now Lila's sailing with Jor. Okay. Copy. John's ferry. Pasta. I assume you guys are gonna be pretty quick going to the council chamber meeting. So
We also need to let Yorvil redo his spells so that he can do the detect emotions thing.
It's true. All right, need to grab all the people for this. All the council members. What's on the
I
council?
also have Zone of Truth, by the way.
Oh, that is useful.
That's useful, yeah.
That's gonna be coming in real handy real soon.
Yeah.
Gather the whole fucking town
check.
into a 20-foot circle.
Oh my god.
All right.
Get everyone in fireball range.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Which of you is the spy? Not me. Me. Interesting.
You are Mel Dubois. Yep, got them. Kaizo Kaijitsu is dead, which means in his place, Amako.
You keep turning it back on 9. To take out Select.
Titus Scarnetti. Where is Titus? They're over their manor. That's where I put their token.
Grand news. I got to go meathead mode.
Is that like sicko mode?
Yeah, but for meatheads. Also known as Drovgy.
Alright, after Titus, we have Ephraim Voldemar, which I just found him recently, so I'm gonna go grab him. Actually, is he gonna be at this meeting? He might send his son.
You gotta call him real quick.
Okay. No, he'd send his son. Alright, and last one is Nora Wisdom, which I already have. Cool. Speaker. Yeah, some of the major players in the area now. Actually gonna do more like this. It does matter where they're sitting though, so we're gonna
Boy, this is quite the place.
you over here. You right here. There we are. And for purposes of shoops and whoops, we're gonna put you right there, you right there. There we are. So, morning rises as you all have all gained a long rest. I'm gonna click that on you real quick just so it's marked. There you are, there you go. As I need to actually go up a little bit ahead. Because this normally doesn't happen until after the Skull Gorge Bridge happens.
Oh.
And most people just hear about Skull Gorge Bridge and go right there. At least that's how the book is set up.
We've got a day or two.
Yeah. Well, the base book actually gave, it was like 3 days later. So like day 3 or day 4 was when they reached town. So like it was pretty instant. But I actually went to the map and determined how long it would take for the army to do. I went in detail. Yeah. So.
As you are wont to do.
Mm-hmm. All right. Reading through everything that might need to be noted. All right, cool. As you make your way into Captain Serrana's office once more, you can see that the place has already been filled with the council of Drellin's Ferry. Some figures you've met, some figures you've only heard about or seen in passing. Going through them, you see that the nobility of the town, at least each noble house, has had some showing here. House of Valdemar, at least their son, the Lord, you know, having been taken ill recently with a disease that is not so easily cured. You also have Yormel Dubois, one of the merchants of town who has become a bit of a merchant lord himself. You know, that he is earned his part upon the council more because of his wealth and the amount of land that he owns than anything else. You then have Titus Scarnetti. He is another of the local lords of the area, with his particular household holding a lot of the lumber mills. He owns a lot of the lumber in the area, so it's kind of his family's business. You also know that he is one of the more conservative members of the town, often butting heads with some of the other noblemen, trying to keep things to the traditional values of Old Dwarf Bridge. But, you know, it is what it is. It is also said, rumors, which, being part of the guards, at least 2 of you would know decently about, that Titus himself, specifically, not his sons or anything of that nature, but Titus may have connections with the Scarni, the local criminal gang, which, I mean, Tim has connections because he works at the pot farm. Of course, you know Amako. It would have been her father, Kaiju, but he died to the goblin attack that you guys stopped. Technically, it wasn't the goblin attack specifically that killed him. It was her half-brother, Suto, which you then killed. But she has seemingly taken his place upon the council. Of course, you have the mayor, Kendra Deverin, one of the other noble families of the area. Most of her family having lived here for generations upon generations, and that's kind of how they grew in prominence. Then you have Nora Whiston, the town's speaker, kind of like the main council member, the one who like speaks for the council when the others are around and whatnot. That's his main role, and he's been the one that you guys have talked to a lot, actually. Either him, Kendra, or Captain Serana. And of course, there's Captain Serana. You just talked to her. She's the captain of the guard. But as you all gather into the chamber, let's see here. At this point, as you make your way into the chamber, you would already hear there's some conversation already taking place. There's raised voices, definitely some form of argument, and as you get closer to the door, before you guys actually push in, you get one particular set of like interactions. How can we fight against a horde of this size? If what those adventurers say is true, adventurers, they're not just adventurers, they're members of the guard here. Maybe them living with us for their entire lives even. Either which way, these gods, what they say is true. If their horde is of this size, there's no way we can stand against it. We must flee. Flee? No. There's too much business to be had here. We can just, send more lion guard this way. They can, what is it, like 100 or so? Seemingly thousands. Soterian the Wise, he can cook up some random magic, can't he? Some, like, fireball or something, and just blast him to oblivion. It's fine. Not sure fireball can handle an army of thousands. Need more than just one mage for such endeavors. Feel free to walk in at any time, by the way.
I will walk in at this exact moment. I'll say, depends on the mage casting the fireball.
Yes, welcome. I completely forgot what you guys called yourself. The Fairytown Wardens. Here are the Fairytown Wardens, as mentioned. The members of the guard, adventurers, and fellow citizens who have so graciously brought us this information. Well then, Fairytale Wardens, what are your thoughts on the matter? Do you think we can stand and fight?
Well, I think we can stand under the skull. What's the name of the bridge again?
Skull Gorge Bridge.
Skull Gorge Bridge, and attach some sabotaging agents to it, and delay them by days, weeks, maybe. I don't think standing and fighting is a good idea, but I think fighting is a good idea.
Titus will give a nod. Well, from what I've heard, Skull Gorge Bridge will buy us some time, then it seems the best option, but we should at the very least evacuate the ill, infirm, and those unable to fight, for whatever reason. But at this point, Yorma will kind of interrupt. But we can't.
I would also. Could I have? It's okay if I can't do this retroactively. Could I have cast Detect Emotions?
What are the components for it?
VS, vocal and somatic.
Would you like to do so subtly?
He's talking sort of like before he walked in.
Yeah.
Oh, before you walked in, yeah.
I was asking if I could
That
do
was
it
like the
retroactively.
plan.
You are keen mind. I'll allow it. You already
Appreciate
mentioned
it.
before this, so yeah.
Well, I can do one humanoid. So, wait, how does this work? And as your action on each turn. Okay. So I will just spend my time focusing on each person's emotions around the room.
Okay. Looking around the room. Let me go and look at these people's particular setups real quick. So I'm going to go look at my DM notes. Going from the same order I did before. Clockwise and all that. Valdemar of the Belvin variety. Valdemar's emotions seem to be running along the lines of mild fear. He definitely is concerned about the situation here and hearing all that is really going on with that. I'm definitely giving you way too much for just a spell that says emotions, by the way. This would be more of an insight check, but he definitely seeing fear within him. Additionally, what else would he have? He seems to be exhibiting some emotions of frustration as well. Going next to Yormel, he seems to have annoyance, emotions of grumpy, emotions of scared, and emotions of angry.
He's a little grumpy.
He's a little grumpy, yeah. All right.
The emotional wheel.
Going to Titus. Titus appears to be stoic. He doesn't seem to exhibit too much in terms of fear or the like. He is hearing what is being said and taking it in stride. Though you can tell that there is a bit of uncertainty in his emotional state. Grr, puppy. As for Amako, looking at her, you can see that she is nervous, that she is concerned, and she is somewhat scared. Looking at Kendra, she is definitely scared. You can also see that she appears to be a bit overwhelmed and anxious. Let's see here. Looking at Noro. Yeah, the notes here for Noro. I'm reading through a decent amount of information real quick. 1 second. Nora appears to be somewhat overwhelmed. There's a lot going on, and his mind is a mixture of frightened, confident, uncertain. It's just like confusion. You're just seeing nothing but like emotions shifting like a rainbow kaleidoscope of emotions. It's just changing constantly. And then you have Serana. From her view, you can see that she appears to be feeling best way to describe this one? She's feeling a little curious. Anxious. Curious and anxious, I would say.
Fascinating.
All right. Continuing on with Yormel, though. Well, surely now we can get some more troops then from, Brendel or the like. We can, we take the bridge out, and from there we hold the town and push them back to the mountains they came from. We've done this in the past. Why is this any different? Thousands, Yormel. Thousands.
They haven't a tenth of the numbers. No matter how many troops we muster, we will not have a numbers advantage in this fight. We need to resort to underhanded tactics.
And what was your rough estimate, Cargalon?
Roughly speaking, tens, thousands, 12, 15 thousands. I was not actually at their gathering point, but what I've gathered through hearsay and the like, their numbers are certainly in the tens of thousands.
Minnie is going to quietly ask Karklin if he knows how many we're up against.
That's what he just answered.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's all good. Amako would speak up. In my days along the road, I have seen towns put to the torch with less troops invading their lands, the greater forces defending them. If these forces are working with dragons, we should flee east. The sooner the better.
At the very least, those who cannot fight. Some of our best chances might be also stalling for as much time as we can here.
Kendra would speak up. Well, I mean, we don't even know what they want, really. They're coming to take their land, but couldn't we try to reason with them, trade, perhaps, a bargain? Maybe they just want portion of the land. I mean, no one really cares about Neiman's Gap, do they?
From the sounds of it, they want it all. They seem pretty spiteful in the ones we've had the unfortunate time talking. And by talking, I mean mostly fighting.
So bribing them won't work then.
Don't believe so, no.
This is
Couldn't we at least try to talk with them? Perhaps just see where that could go?
practically a religious crusade.
Bear in mind, they're also under the banner and the sort of zeal of Tiamat, for those who know them.
All the more reason we should flee then. If these invaders are a crusading force, they will not give quarter. They will kill us to the man, woman, and child. Every one of us will fall to their swords, so they may purify the lands in their god's honor. I don't really wish to agree with him, but at a point, crusading forces do not have mercy for the most part. I mean, not even like a little bit of coin? Just trickle to... No.
No, I don't think they give any amount of shit about
But it's
gold.
always worked in the past!
The hell did... Oh, I forgot. Yep. Not this time, friend. Most of the time, fair. Not this time, friend.
From sounds of it, then, we have no choice but to stand and fight or to retreat.
A little bit of both.
Perhaps some allies then to join forces with. I don't know about you, but I have no allies in the dwarfs or the elves. They've long since abandoned us here. But what about? I don't mean to, assume, but you're of the Hammerfist Holds, are you not, Ravki? Rodville? Do you perhaps have an in with them, maybe?
Both just give the sighing. I.
Both of
We've-
you.
Had a small discussion about it already. If we must go to the holds, at least we have connections there.
That certainly seems like a I don't know why my voice changed slightly. That certainly seems like a route to take. Then get some allies, maybe new armies to join us if before they encircle it. Hopefully, I'll need to be quick in that regard, at least. But judging from the map, our wardens, they can take up the bridge. Well, I'll certainly buy us enough time to perhaps find some allies. Perhaps even amongst the elves, if you have any ties there. She'll look towards Tim. Do you hold any ties with your kinsmen? Your cousins, I should say.
It's been a while, but I feel like they'd be more... Or it's been several decades since I've been home, really, but I feel like they might be partial to me, and they'd have a shared interest in protecting the nature around here. So yeah, I think they'd be willing to help out.
Well, suppose this only leaves us with a decision of... We'd certainly need allies, and the bridge must be destroyed then. We'll need to send troops there to see it done. What about wardens? You've done it in the past. I don't want to, keep asking, but you've been effective. Now, it's certainly up to them at this point. We have soldiers all around that can be sent if they wish to go elsewhere.
It is certainly something that we've considered and might need to discuss slightly more, but for the most part, we see our abilities more being able to better convince others to perhaps join our side rather than sending the militia into, say, the elven lands to convince them. So we need to look at it because that bridge needs to go, and we need to make sure it goes because that buys us a great deal of time that can then be used to better evacuate, bolster defenses, and garner allies that we wouldn't have otherwise. The hope is that we can be in two places at once, and so to speak, in that regard.
That still doesn't answer the question. Are we staying? We fleeing? Some of us fleeing?
We should evacuate the civilians. But, quite frankly, this is the first line of defense. It's the first place we can meet them.
Well, sure, we can muster up some extra defenses. I have some contacts out to the south. Sorry, my puppy is quite annoyed by the situation. Okay, Roscoe.
Alright.
Well, he's barking at his own reflection, you see.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the one card. Socks is ready to go to war.
They are. Well, it seems your pupper has some fighting spirit in them, at least. It's more than I can say for some. But the very least, civilians should be sent out east. Though that does give us another question, however.
Back here with everyone except for the alchemists.
Yorma will
With
speak
the
up at this
alchemists.
point. But, I mean, gotta we, give them some weapons, help defend our lands? I mean, we've worked so hard to keep this area ours. We should, at very least, defend it with everything we have. Civilians won't be much help. At best, they'll be a distraction for the invading force. I mean...
Lean into the group and whisper, "Oh, are we going to test the spell and see if any of these people are the spies?" I feel like telling them our whole plan about knowing who the spy is might be a bad idea.
I don't think we've mentioned the spy.
No, we have not yet, but they make good point.
Anyways,
Well, going into telepathy to really make sure nobody hears. What they mean is, Minnie knows Zone of Truth. We get to make sure that none of them know who the spy or is the spy.
While that conversation is happening, Clink, Minnie, and Tim, while you're all doing your discussion, with your passive perceptions, you'd overhear a bit of what they were discussing while you were being distracted. The core thing was, I mean, the civilians, we could just, use them as if they're distraction, that will give our troops enough time to save the others. And at that, Amako, Sorana, and Kendra will all start instantly, refuting this and be like, no, we're not just going to sacrifice civilians, but not going into too much deal because you guys are distracted.
This guy.
But, the,
Beat his motherfucking ass!
Yorville with your 10, Tim with your 11, and Clink with your 12, you guys would get that, just the conversation. That he seems to not care too much about sacrificing civilians if it means that you can get with your passive insight, some of you at least, he really cares about the property here, not so much the people. But if
I think you need a passive insight of a 1 to tell that.
Yeah, no, it's not high. I don't think anyone has a -1 in their insight, so... And no one has a -1 insight.
Alright. I think we asked Minnie to do the spell. We gather them up real quick.
I will nudge Minnie. She will have to crouch down due to the significant height difference.
Yeah, Minnie means
I'll
careful not
whisper
to pop you.
in her ear. Could you cast a Zone of Truth on the room here?
Minnie nods and she says, "Do you want me to let them know or just do it?"
Just do it.
And
Are
Minnie
you casting it subtly?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and cast it subtly.
All right.
Tim, can you make a distraction, please?
Give me a concentration check.
I will, Tim will sneeze very, very loudly.
Like a dad sneeze?
Dad from the most Midwestern town in America sneeze
Excellent.
enough to make the shatter, or the windows
What kind
rumble.
of check was it again?
Constitution saving throw.
Con save. Thank
Yep,
you.
con save. Concentration checks are con save, so. Alright. You're able to definitely do so silently. I would have you roll a stealth check to do it, to see what the DC is, but with the giant dad sneeze and the fact that they're already distracted, they don't notice.
Alright.
However, I get to see which ones of them fail their save. What is your spell save DC? I'm just going to go down the list in DM view. See what is your level, Voldemar? Friend.
Speak friend and enter.
Oh, is it only a 10?
That can't be right. That can't be right.
Should be on the top left. Do you not have a bit that says Paladin?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 14.
Okay, DC 14. Alright, going down the list for all my people, seeing what their save is. Alright, Amako next. I have so many references to Amako, apparently. I have 9 references to Amako in my NPC notes.
They were notable for a section of this campaign.
Yep. Alright, let's see here. They are
I swear
level...
to God, if they revive the Lip Dick Simp, I swear to God.
Alright, now for Kendra. Kendra is that level. And then we have Noro. And then we have Serana. Alright. Good to know, good to know. So this is Zone of Truth, correct?
Yeah.
Excellent. Alright. As you begin looking out around all of them, the seemingly returning to the conversation, alright. Now that not sacrificing your own civilians has been settled, how about some actual plans? Ones preferably not from Yormel. I mean, look, it wasn't a bad... Just stares at him all the time. Okay, it was kind of a bad plan, but, I mean... Look, I just wanted to...
Minnie stares daggers at him and says, I don't think that sacrificing our civilians is a very good idea.
But
If
the
anything,
money!
I think they are what produce your money and are what we should protect here more than anything else.
Folks
She's just
dying
like-
is not very cash funny of you.
What a queen bee is only as powerful as her hive. I mean, if everyone's dead here and you're the only one left, sure you'll have all the land, but what good will it be?
True, bestie.
The, Furbolg. Don't know your name. They do have a point. Tim. They have a point. Without the hive, the queen will fall. We are to properly defend ourselves. Cannot rely on our citizenry who are unable to fight. Should send them eastwards to Brindle, where the walls can protect them. Still say we should all go east. John's Ferry has no walls, it has barely a river, and if they have dragons, we will all perish in a fiery blaze. But if the council deems it necessary for us to stay, well, we'll do what I can to help.
Can you fight?
Me? I mean, I've been trained in swordplay, but
So no.
Well, so yes.
Look,
It's very low
When
standard
you
right
say
now, brother.
trained in swordplay, are you talking about like walking back and forth with rapiers? Because I've seen that before.
I've had a few duels of my own, thank you very much. Not military training, though, so... But I have dueled a man or two.
Yeah, actually, hold on.
To be able to teach others in swordplay who have not.
I don't know if my skills are that level, but... Yorville, not quite sure. Definitely doesn't look like a man who's seen much action. Dravgi, he's not seen much action. He is, in fact, a civilian class character.
You know, I was right.
He is not a guard either, so he's not even boosted stats for combat.
Yeah, I will say psychically to my brother. I told you so.
Will.
Hey, Minnie, were you able to get everyone?
What?
Were you able to get everyone?
Was I? Or do I have to move so I can get everyone in range?
To your knowledge, everyone who is in the area of the spell effect Eventually, everyone will fail because every round they have to make the save. But you don't know who's failed and who's not. You'll have to just base it on their actions.
Alright.
Um,
Says, I think so.
Telepathically to Yorville. Should we
Is
bring up
that
the
a
elephant
official
gentleman?
ruling for?
is that not base? I thought that was base.
No, in base 5e, it straight up tells you know who fails and succeeds.
No, first round, these three succeeded. Second round, she succeeded. Third round, these three succeed on the first round.
Okay.
The second round, she succeeded. The third round, everyone failed.
Okay.
So by the third round, everyone's failed. But the only one who really spoke during the period where they succeeded would have been Serana, I believe.
Yorville will step forward after Minnie gives the nod and say, "There's one piece of information that we haven't revealed to the council yet."
And Clink will hop on the counter
Oh my god.
and will point at Belvin.
You have more information.
Why are you pointing at people?
Why do you?
Well-
Yes or no?
We are not doing this.
What did I do?
Okay, you know what? This might be somewhat
Alright.
okay. Carry on.
That's why you use zone of truth is with yes or no questions.
There is a spy in our midst.
Maybe we shouldn't have told people that until we figure it out, because now someone could try to run,
Audible
or
gasps.
they can now know that they're under effects of things.
Going to give an eye to Karkalon, and Druffy's gonna step towards this door. In case anybody fucking tries.
Curiosity.
A spy?
And, well, you're all stuck here for a moment. So,
You mean we're
Pretty boy,
stuck here?
Belvin,
What? I'm not stuck here. Hey, I can leave if I demand to be allowed to leave.
No.
Lord Valdemar.
I will. Quiet, Yormel.
Like, knows what your vocal cords are.
Destroyed Limp Dick.
Yes.
Are you a spy?
No.
Do you know who might be?
No.
Okay. No, it's
Lord
good.
Dubois.
No.
I haven't asked my question.
I figured you're gonna ask me if I'm a spy. The answer is no.
Are you a spy?
No.
Do you know who might be a spy?
No. I mean, maybe the Scarny. But no.
The
Do you
Scarny?
say that just because you don't like him, or because you actually think that?
No. The Thieves Guild. I mean, they do all sorts of weird stuff. You know, I'm sure they can probably smuggle someone in here. They might have some connections.
Titus.
Ta-
You next.
Titus Garnetti.
One second, I'm looking at something real quick. Yep, never mind. Carry on.
Oh.
Yes,
Are you a spy?
I am not a spy.
Do you know who might be a spy?
As my most greedy friend here says, perhaps the Scarny, but I cannot say for sure.
Amico.
Yes,
Are you a spy?
I am not a spy. I have been in the past, though, but not for the army that you speak of.
I appreciate your forthcomingness. So, would you be proficient in counterintelligence by any chance?
I would. That was what I was assigned to do.
Could you get back into practice, so to speak?
I can root out our spy.
I'm going to continue the rest of this room first. But that's very good to know. Lord de Verin,
Yes?
are you a spy?
No.
Do you know who might be a spy?
No.
Are you really sure?
Yes?
Oh.
Is it hot in here?
This poor woman does not want to be here.
Clink will fly over and give her a lollipop for her anxiety.
No, we need the emotional support badger.
They're outside, unfortunately.
Ah,
Emotional support Clink will have to do.
true. Honestly,
Lord Whiston,
Yes?
Emotional support
are
lizard.
you a spy?
I am not a spy.
Do you know who might be a spy?
Well, let me go look at my list of people who I find distasteful.
Clink is thoughtful.
Dravgy.
Let's see here. Control F.
I wish I could just control F for distasteful people.
Well, to be honest, I kind of thought Yorma might have been one, but that's obviously not the case anymore. Hey, I mean, look, come on now. Look, you and I both know you've done things that are a bit shady. No, it's fine. Anyways, next on the list would be, well, I always got a bit of a funny feeling from Suto, but I mean, you've dealt with him, so that's kind of out of the picture now. With that, Amako will give a little annoyed gaze. Then there's Pillbug. I don't like Pillbug much. He's got his own shop, but he's always giving me the heebie-jeebies, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Well,
Fuck is Pillbug?
Oh, sorry, that's his
Describe it.
nickname is Mr. Potiker. He's a local alchemist in town.
well,
Yeah.
we need him, so I really hope he isn't.
Yeah, no, he runs Pillbug's Pantry. Yeah.
This Scarlet Claw was disguised in town for 2 years, I believe, as the owner and proprietor of one of the stores. I forget what it's called.
It
The old
was.
Clink's clinic.
It was like Thorn's place, where all your
There's
needs
Thorn's
are just
Good.
a prick.
Thorn's Goods.
Thorn's Goods, where all your needs are just a prick away. And to this day, Dravgi did like that motto.
Let's see. Next on the list is Titus. Look, no offense, but as Titus is now giving him a very like, what the fuck did you just say, mate? But you've always given me that like, don't fuck with me or I'll kill you stare, as you're doing right now. So it's always put me off. You kind of scared me, to be honest. Everyone's
always
like
love
looking
that,
at
fuck
him
off or
is
you'll
like
kill me.
he is speaking
Yeah, that one.
way too much right now.
Everyone who's ever frightened him.
Yeah. Let's see. Next on the list would be Jabral Vishki. He's. I know he's been doing some weird stuff on the. He's never been able to pin him down on crimes or the like, but I don't know. Something's about him.
Gunnar it isn't a spy. He bit me once.
No, Gunnar's on the up and up. Yeah, no, Gunnar might do some weird things, but he's on the up and up.
Boy.
He's a certified good boy. Yeah. There's of course Katrina, but you dealt with her. Apparently, she was a spy, and that's gone now too. I never really felt weird about her, but I mean, apparently she was a spy, so here we are. Of course, then there's what was their name? The name of the person that did the thing that looked at me funny. Philip. That was the name. Yeah, Philip. I don't know who they are. They just kind of walked by and they gave me this weird look, and I was like, that dude's definitely doing something funky. So, Philip. Yeah.
You have very low standards.
He has
Going wrong,
listed
both
every
different.
person who has ever just made him slightly anxious. And he's
Yes.
just like, he has a list.
No,
Ruben.
he has a list.
Rana Anita is
The captain of the guard.
yeah, captain of the guard. Captain,
Yes.
are you a spy?
I am not a spy.
Well, that's good to hear. Do you know who might be a spy?
Well, out of all those who have come to town recently, I would say members of the adventuring troupe. Sondruvishki, he's been with us for a while now, and his brother's been with, well, a supposed member, alleged member of the Scarni for some time, but he has been on the up and up to our knowledge, but some of his companions, some of his new members of his adventuring band, Gregory von Draska, he is a bit of a reputation from what I've heard. It's potential that he might be one such figure. Outside of that, anyone, a member of the Scarni would certainly have cause to do this, especially if they are of the bloodlines of the Wormsmokes. Beyond that, let's see here. I'm gonna control F for a different type of thing. No, it wouldn't be him. They wouldn't mention him. They would mention him. It is, I don't know how likely this is, but it is potential that, Gorvi might be a spy. He certainly has access to every place in town. And people tend to avoid him. But kind of ignore his presence, if you know what I mean. He walks about as if, well, he's not even there. You guys would know Gorvi is the town's dung sweeper, essentially the trash collector.
Yeah, I can see why maybe he might have a little bit of a grudge too. Homeboy rolled a dung sweeper.
What?
Professional roll up, dung sweeper.
Why was that not one of the civilian classes I could have chosen? Hey,
You want to be a dung sweeper?
A dung sweeper. I get such great bonuses, such as innately suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for your honesty. Not that you had much of a choice. Please keep this information to yourselves. We don't want it getting out, obviously.
I'll
Blink.
see it done as she stares at everyone in the chamber.
Blink points at Yorville.
If it does, you will be first on our list. Let it be known.
Yorville, are you a spy?
No, I'm not a spy.
Yorville, do you know anyone who might be a spy?
Looking at them.
Oh my god!
Blink looks behind him.
Got him?
I thought we just cleared Serona.
Clink,
Yes?
are you a spy?
God damn it.
Blink is not a
God
spy.
damn it. Gunnar, how are we ever supposed to be taken seriously? That's true.
Right. Well,
It is good to make sure that all of us make sure we say we are not spies as well.
Oh,
So everyone feels
that is
I'm
fair.
not a
given
spy.
an opportunity.
I
am
mean,
not a spy. I do
It
not know.
mainly works if you're asked the question, I suppose. If it's like a truthful question, that
Tim, are you a spy?
My goodness, no.
Penny, are you a spy?
I am not.
Brother,
yes, brother?
are you a spy?
No.
I know you want to be sarcastic, but you can't.
I really tried to. No, I am not a spy. The only thing I spy on is the only thing I spy on is trying to figure out what my wife puts inside of the stew. She still won't even tell me.
Kirkland, are you a spy?
I am no spy, nor have I ever been, nor will I be.
Good man.
Yes.
All right.
I've killed people,
Thank you
though.
all for your time. I mean, the same.
Gunner, are you a spy?
I was about to. Alright. Brother, lock him up.
That was an affirmative. Yes, they are a spy.
Fucking correct. Listen to your little shit. He passed every save.
No. He said yes. I'm a spy.
Oh wait.
I mean, only Yorville understands that because he's
Yeah.
Yorville's familiar. Actually, Tim would understand because he speaks animals. So, Tim, you would hear.
Gotta take that as a
"Blah."
Embrace the eyebrow.
He's not wrong. He does spy work for Yorville all the time.
Yeah, he does spy work for Yorville all the time, so he's a spy.
He's basically a reconnaissance drone.
Why do you think I chose the Badgers? They can dig.
Yeah, dude, no, he's great. We love Gunnar.
Gunner's the best spy. All right. It crawls up onto Yorville's shoulder and like into his hood. The Badgers are kind of big, so it's a really funny thing.
I mean, dwarves are stout, so it's a wider hood.
I think at this point, now that we've clarified that no one here is a spy, yet we have a spy in our midst, we should have a vote on what we're doing officially as our council.
Yes, that was next step.
So, what are our options?
So on the table, he'll literally go up to the table. Here are our options for what we need to do first. First things first is getting rid of that bridge. Now, in getting rid of that bridge, our options then split into sending us, not wasting our time, but you must understand we are probably some of our best bets to actually convincing everybody else, but we'll get to that. We can go and deal with it and make sure it gets done. Other than that, we provide the Lions Guard. I know they are our best, but as much as I love our volunteers and appreciate them more than most, I don't trust them to be able to demolish a bridge. This demolishing should also happen within a rough timeline of in between now and tomorrow to the next day at the latest. The issue being, if the scouts find it, they might go around. It will still waste their time, but not as much. But if it is a delayed thing, they might just find our deployed bombs and it'll be worthless. So, probably best to do it in a little bit of a sketchy manner. Par for that, there are options for garnering support. Oh, wait. Dravi gets sort of a look and pokes at Tim. Why did I forget his name? Gibbons is over there, as is where we last saw Slarana.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
think
we do go over there and do it ourselves, eh?
Yeah.
We could... Alright, this is a better idea then. We will head down there, deal with the bomb, and assist in hopefully finding Gibbons and Leilu. Hopefully sending her back with what information she has. And perhaps we two birds, one stone, head into the swamps. Sort of looks at Tim.
It's possible, yeah.
You're the one who has the best chance of connections there. If not, maybe we also take Shalelu with us. She might as well.
Maybe. And maybe it's possible we could connect with other goblin tribes, and maybe with Gibbons we could unite and form or get more numbers that way.
Assuming they've not been also taken over by the forces that took over the Tizzletop tribe. But perhaps then they'll all be in that same spot.
Yeah, potentially.
After that, our options for what we do in terms of fortifying the home is a different subject. There's possibly the destroying or making the path from the desert more treacherous as well. There's also the Ghost Lord, who notably hates dragons. The issue is also the Ghost Lord being insane.
I mean, we could just, Give him some money, right? That'll work.
The Ghost Lord, if going off of the stories that my wife told me,
Could you throw a big map of the
Big
thing
map could
over
be
here in
good,
the darkness?
actually.
Big map of the world on this area.
Of the one that's on the table?
Yeah. Big map.
Yeah.
I guess it's nice having the information on the map. The Ghost Lord was an old druid who died during the old Dragon Wars. But in their last act made
Just put it
sure,
here for
to
ease.
in a way to save their land, destroyed their land and their people, hence the Ghost Lord. They're a little kooky and might curse you. But notably, they control an army of the undead, and so it could be convinced to push their wrath towards another army of dragonkind. Well, who are we to argue, eh?
Well, we can ally ourselves with the Ghost Lord. There's certainly an avenue. I don't know how easy that will be. I've heard stories. There you go. I've heard stories similar to your wife. Well, the Ghost Lord doesn't really deal with outsiders. Being an audience with them is difficult.
Aye, if anybody knows any lore or any ways we might garner favor with him, they do seem like a powerful ally. Again, if a little risky. High risk, high reward is what this would be, but in that risk, it might be worth it considering what we're up against. While we're down there, we can also go take a family trip back to the Hammerfist holds and see if they are willing to aid us.
Paul
That's-
kind of wanted to see the Dwarven hold.
They are wonderful and magnificent, but also turning to like everybody else. Don't hold your breath. There's a reason why Yorville and I are out here and not within the holds of themselves. We're not exactly the
Maybe.
most like.
Really think we can ally with the dwarfs? They have been holed up there for some time now.
Well, when told that their mountain might be toppled onto them, as hard as it is to believe, some might still trust our word and know that we would not come idle.
They're involved whether they like
They are
it or
likely.
not.
They are.
And one can convince the dwarfs. It would certainly be our wardens.
Again, don't hold your breath!
You've
sure
proven
you try.
yourselves. I'm sure even with your own history, you have a better chance than most.
Probably. But I suppose that's the tentative plan. Take a trip up north, then double back down, and head south. Probably holds, then Ghost Lord, not Ghost Lord, then holds. He looks to the rest of the group. Probably.
Probably.
But that's also a thought. Looking at Penny and Karkalan. You mentioned that I'm not going to get into personal business, but are there more of your kind that might be able to assist us? I know there's the barbarian tribes that also live on the mountains. I don't know if they're a part of that or no.
And barbarian
But they're
tribes
also-
are up here.
Are where?
Up here.
Oh,
The Giant Shield Mountains.
shit!
Giant Shield.
Shit! The other ones.
Yeah.
So
you
it
have,
could be Big Loop.
Yeah. So you have the dwarfs down here, you have the barbarians and giant clans in these mountains. You then have obviously the hobgoblins and whatnot in these mountains, but that's enemies. This is enemy territory.
We can convince them.
Unknown territory here. You then have Else right north of you guys.
All right, so yeah, that is a separate question of if more of your kind might be willing to aid us, we could also stop at these at the shield,
Giant Shield Mountains.
at the giant shields, before heading down to the Hammerfist.
It is potential that some of the old clans could join with us, or perhaps they are with the Red Hand. I cannot say for sure. I have been away for, well, we'll look at many years.
I say it's probably worth a shot. The issue, this is... Do you need a tactics for me to estimate, like, how many days this, like, round trip is gonna take?
Sure, give me, geography, not geography, cartographers would be the best skill to roll, but you can give me a tactics check.
Anyone good with those?
Clink is good with tactics, right?
Yes. Clink
What is your plus to
She
tactics
just
again?
went to the bathroom though.
Oh. I'm gonna click on their token just because I want to know
Yeah.
what their tactics bonus is. This is not a real roll, I just want to see it.
I believe it's like a.
God fucking damn. Alright, when they get back, we're getting the fucking help action on that roll.
Yep.
Jesus Lord.
What path are you wanting to take? So I can do it now while we're waiting.
The idea is to,
You guys
from
head up
home,
to Skull Gorge, from there to the Black Fens.
head up to Skull Gorge, do our shit there, head up to Black Fens, then head over to the Giant Shields before doubling back, heading down to the Hammer Fist, and then Ghost. As, of course, Ghost Lord is maybe the most... A part of me wants to, like, I don't know if Ghost Lord maybe should be prioritized more, because, again, that high gamble, but, like... I don't know. And I'm just sort of asking the ride time. This isn't putting into thought also the extra days it's going to take to do our stuff. I'm just looking at the ride time.
All right.
What's everybody else's thoughts while we out
So
of
this
character
one,
away?
they say, take prisoners, wants halfling to eat.
Aye.
We could probably use, if we could help them not be prisoners, they might fight by our side.
Aye. There might be a halfling village around there. Some might be willing to fight.
I think we should go in order of likelihood of success, no? So we probably start at home rather, and then go from there. It would be good to know if how our better leads have turned out first.
If we save Shalelu, she might also have good standing in with the elves.
I'm gonna just roll for Clink real quick since they are away.
Okay.
Just
keep this going. Shit!
damn,
Hell
roll the 19.
yeah!
All right.
Alright!
As you're looking upon the map, give or take, there's only some modifications to this because your path might change and whatnot. And you might not know exactly where you need to go in certain areas because you don't know exactly where you need to go in for the Black Fence, for example. You don't know where the Giant Shield clans are either. But assuming you were to hit each of these main things and just did a giant circle, starting at Drellin's Ferry, going to Skull Gorge, going to the Black Fence, going to the Giant Shield, going through the forest, going back down to the Hammer's Fist Holes, Ghost Lords, and back to Drellin's Ferry, you're looking at 566 miles. On horseback, you can do this trip with a medium pace in 47 days.
Okay!
At a fast pace, you can do that in 23 days.
We're
On horses?
definitely... Yeah. On horses.
I don't think we have that much time, do we?
You know
We're
that
definitely
you guys can
not
get
meant to do
extra
all of
time.
this.
You guys can get extra time by destroying the Skullborge Bridge. You don't know how much time that will give you, but it's suggested it can be anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks. So, it's up to you where you want to go.
As well as what other time can be
Mhm.
gathered, and or again, Shillelagh might be able to. Ranger and such, he maybe has connections.
Where did Shillelagh know?
You guys don't know. Last she was seen was near Thistletop or near the William Smoke Mountains. Either which way, enemy territory.
Aye. So, we're ironically almost banking on her having been captured so that we find her along with Gibbon. If not, we quickly check in at Thistletop to see if she's still hanging around there, like spying. Past that, I suppose go back down to the holds. Then,
So, bridge, goblins, dwarves.
I
I don't love it, brother.
I hate this. I was hoping to never set foot back into that hold, but desperate times, desperate measures. Not gonna let an old family grudge stand in the way of protecting my family.
Don't let anyone in the hold hear you talking like that.
Yeah, hints my real family now. Yeah. Either way. I guess out of character we can finalize our thing. Other than that, happy hunting?
I suppose. I don't
Amiko?
know.
Now,
It's like, other than that, happy hunting?
I will find the spy. At
Amiko?
least I'll do my best, but
It's in
This,
capable hands.
Titus will speak up. We still have the actual matter of the town itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, our wardens have suggested we evacuate the non-combatants, and yet still hold the town. Who else favors this proposition? The show of hands, they will begin raising their own hands, giving their favor for your vote. I need the group to roll me a persuasion check.
Who's best at those?
Can we get a Vivi chime?
Unfortunately, no.
Damn! Tried.
Mhm.
Yeah, who's best at those?
I have a +6.
Oh, that's good!
That's pretty good.
I'm going to also use my predict success on that.
All right.
Okay, yeah, okay.
All right.
Oh,
Add an
hell
extra
yeah.
d6 to that. $26. All right.
Very nice.
There's obviously so many people who were just like, yeah, no, I'm voting for it. All the people you're like, yeah, they're going to vote for this, no problem. Yormel does hesitantly vote for it. Belvin, you can see there is some trepidation, but eventually he does raise his hand. Basically, the two holdouts will fall through with the vote, and it's a unanimous vote because of the 26.
Sweet.
It seems then that
Did it make a difference? Or
your persuasion made a difference, yeah. Had you failed the persuasion, it would have been a tie. And then Nora would have had to make the decision. And Nora's decision in the book is interesting.
I'm so curious now.
Yeah. Anyways, welcome back. A vote has been decided as one by one, they all raise a hand in favor of evacuating the non-combatants eastwards. Now then, regarding the evacuation, the Dawn Road is still watched by the marauders or invaders at this point. We will need to send a group of at least one patrol militia to travel with them. More would be better, but depends on how much we wish to spare the town. To defend the town, less we have available, but it's not a long travel to Brindle.
No.
So.
To protect the civilians more than the land itself, should we send the Lions Guard?
Flink agrees with Lion's Guard.
Lion's Guard will certainly keep them protected. But it does mean that the western bridge will be open for longer. Unless you wish to send some of the militia that way. By the way, if you guys didn't have your history with the town, they wouldn't be taking your insight at all into this. They might do a little insight, but their votes would not really be measured too much by it. In fact, the DC is really high if you guys weren't tied to the town in any way.
Woo.
Good news. Sage said before all this, make sure you're tied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. If you guys fucked off and didn't make sure you were tied, I'm like, well, you made your bed.
And does he mean this western bridge? Like,
yeah, that one, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that could also be good one to burn.
Because you guys were going to send the Lions there, I believe, while you guys went north. But if you're sending the Lions to go protect the citizenry, which is certainly the most effective unit to do so,
we also don't have anybody to burn that bridge.
Yeah, you'll have to either send a militia that way, which is not a good chance of success, but it is a chance, or just not send anyone at all, or wait for the Lions to get back and then do it later, which at that point it might be a higher DC. So, decisions.
Idea of send Lions to take care of that bridge, and we send 2 militia to take them to Brindle.
I'll leave 2 militia left defending Ellen's Ferry, if that is what you wish to do.
But hopefully we won't be gone too long.
Yeah, 2 defending Drellin's Ferry, along with whatever air quote champions we have, like Serana. I feel that might be okay.
You do have Visky in town. He is an adventurer with his band.
Oh, yeah,
and
but also
we could get the
is
town
on
together
suspicion.
to make a battle plan of maybe setting up different places that are well fortified as safe houses for people to go to if the bells ring.
That was also a second point of tearing down, using the materials, and I know we hate this, abandoning the western side of the river.
Why?
If we can fortify the bank, make it so that it is harder for them to cross. It's a big river. It's a good river. There's a reason the dwarves wanted to build a bridge over it. There's good shit on either side of it.
Gormil, just bring your stuff across to the eastern bank. I'll be safe within the yards out eastwards. The warehouses are barely a pittance of change. You can get them repaired, no problem. But I mean... fine. I'll see to it that my lumber mills start producing enough lumber to provide us palisades and structural supports for certain buildings.
I forgot about the Circle of Eth there as well, though. Oh, I've been out of town for too long there.
It is true. We might have some aid in them. I did. Abathel normally keeps to himself. You probably should let him know about this. Maybe have some other allies out eastwards or the like. Maybe even westwards, beyond the Orc lands. I don't know. His Menhir stones certainly can get us places.
Aye, we'll definitely want to attune to those, at least thus.
The feeling when you guys literally never went to his stone.
Yeah.
This entire time you've never been to his place.
Yeah.
And I suggested it multiple times.
Hey, I don't remember any of those times, so it's fake. Convincing him to abandon his grove is probably also going to be nigh impossible. My idea might not be as good, but
well,
defending the river from one side is easier than having to evacuate halfway through a siege across the river.
That does bring up another point, though. With Avothel and their Menhir stones, it's likely that the elves have their own set of stones, as do the eastern edge of the Witchwood. Would be a way to save time. You're wanting to push your way northwards into the Elf lands, you could perhaps use their men here and transport yourself back to Drellin's Ferry with but a moment.
And then more easily head down south again.
I certainly save off a lot of time from your travel.
Aye, it would.
Out of character, I'm letting you guys know that certain factions will have Menhir Stone, certain factions will have Way Shrines. You currently only have one Menhir Stone attuned to. I'm assuming you're going to attune to the one in town pretty soon.
Oh, that was the
Hey
most.
guys, I have to jet early. My girlfriend's not feeling well.
I hope they feel better soon, and no worries.
All good.
This was a lot of fun. I'll catch up with you guys next week.
Yep, no worries. Ciao, ciao.
Good one.
Have fun.
And by that, Sage says, "Go fucking attune to the Menhir stones." If
I'm giving you a
don't,
hint.
I swear to God, guys, I'm thinking we just avoid the Menhir stones.
mean-
They have cooties.
Yeah, they have cooties. I know they're cursed. That's where all the
Kate wants us to go there
monsters
too
go.
much. There's a monster. There's another Hydra waiting for us.
Exactly. He's been really, really answering for a fight that he's prepped there, and we've been masterfully dodging
It's true.
Sage is just mauling over here like, you motherfucker. But we could have
Anyways.
saved so much time
Yes.
coming home.
Yes, you could have. There's multiple
hey.
Menhir stones in the Witchwood, and you've just barely avoided them every time.
Hey, at least we weren't on the time crunch at that
That's
point.
true, but you are now.
We are now.
Yeah, the whole first 5 levels of this campaign have been getting you the initial resources to make this easier.
How have we done on that, Sage?
Decently well. You didn't release a
Okay.
dragon, though. I'm kidding.
He did
That
not.
was guaranteed. That was guaranteed.
Motherfucker.
I'm just giving you
Keeps
shit.
on saying you released the dragon. You did this.
I released the dragon.
You come into my house, suck my dick, call me gay. How dare you, Sage?
How dare I? Anyways,
Anyway,
with the plan decided, at least in terms of the town, the council will have voted for evacuation. Citizenry will move eastwards. Are you wanting them to be guarded by 2 militia, the Lion Guard, or something else?
2 militia was our best plan.
I think 2 militia.
Right, so you're saying 2 militia eastward of the citizenry. You're sending the Lion's Guard westwards to destroy the bridge, and you guys,
quick.
as a group, are heading north to the Skull Gorge.
I'm
Correct?
going to play a little bit of devil's advocate. If our main goal is protecting the people, the bridge helps, but maybe doesn't matter as much. The smaller bridge, maybe we send the militia to try to fuck that up. If they fuck it up, it's kind of whatever. Because we got
The
the
Lion's Guard
people
is more
out.
likely to live if something bad happens over that way. Like
that's
there's a
what I
scouting party.
Oh
defending.
god, yeah, that's true.
I feel like a lot more of them would live and come back if something went wrong. And if it was just a militia that we sent, we would just hear word of their death.
If even.
Yeah.
Nope, that's fair. Okay, that was just my last lingering thought of, is there? Yeah, nope, yep.
In that case, sounds like the plan is, just to confirm, 2 militia eastward with citizenry, Lion's Guard westward to destroy the smaller bridge, the party heading northwards to destroy Skull Gorge. Is this correct?
And free the Gibbons.
And free the Gibbons.
And free the Givens.
So is this correct?
Are we going to go to the dwarves after that?
We'll see. Like, we at least have our first steps, right?
Mhm.
We can decide as we go. We might go up to the elves and then way shrine back home to save time on walking and then do this. Can horses way shrine?
Normally, I do not allow creatures who are not tuned to things to teleport, but I've allowed pets to do it in the past. I remember in the Lost Fable campaign, you guys specifically got your carriage because you couldn't use your carriage to go through way shrines. So if they are bound to, they can travel. If they are not, they have to be attuned to it.
Can we attend?
You can attune your horses to the Avarthel's Menhir Stone.
Alright, sick. Yeah, so we and our horses will go attune to the Drellin's Fairy Stones, and then maybe we head up to the elves, try to convince them, then head home. and then go to the dwarf lands.
All right. Very good, very good. So, with that, I think that's a good point to call the session. Hope you guys had fun. It was good stuff, a lot of RP. You finally met the entirety of the council. So that's new and different.
One of them's a fucker.
A couple of them are actually fuckers, but one of them is definitely the most vocal. But we're going
The other ones know to
to
shut up.
yeah, we're gonna raid a Pixel Circus because they're doing D&D, and that sounds like a good time.
We wouldn't know, of course.
Totally wouldn't know.
No,
Don't
no
mind us
idea.
being nerds over here.
No,
How dare we? Anyways, raid. All right.
I'm still laughing